Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Sunday night. It's February 23rd, the last week of February. I mean, this month's just cruising right by, too, just like the weekends. So let's get checking out and see what's going to happen this week and see what's going to be popping because that's what we care about, obviously. And so let's go ahead see what the markets are doing. Crypto is down, and I guess the dust has to settle after all that craziness. And then there's another COVID something coming out they're talking about. So we'll get into that and go through some vaccine stock tickers as well. And I think somebody did say that a couple months ago. They did say that they wouldn't be surprised if some kind of COVID or something came out like a month or two after Trump came into office, and boom, there we go. So already talks of that. It's crazy how important that power and money is. I'll tell you that. So we will check out all that info. So let's get rocking and rolling. I see people popping on, and here we go. All information presented here is for educational and information purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And here we go. CVAC, let's just start with it. I saw it just pop up here, and I don't even know what that is. And I'm going to check it out here. Elon Gates, it says. And what is it? It's CVAC. I'm not even CureVac NV. It's a Germany company. And maybe they do some vaccines. I'm not exactly sure, but it does appear to be pulling back at the moment. Let me take a better look and see what it did in the after hours here. All right, come on. I was just using you. Are you kidding me? All right, there. It doesn't like CVAC trend spider. We'll go back to it. There you go. Now it's working. And it could be bottoming out right there, as a matter of fact, that CureVac. So I'll keep an eye on that. Let me jot it down up here. We have a pretty full list here tonight, so we will get rocking and rolling and check these out. But that's CVAC and bird flu phase 2 result 1H, it says. So there you go. And we'll take a look at some other vaccine ones, like I said. So there you go, Elon Gates. And let's get cruising through our list right here and see what's happening. OCEA, we'll see how they ended Friday, how they're going to look for tomorrow, and what we're looking at for this week. This one just stayed in the basement, pulled back, still in a great spot right there. It did obviously pop up the other day, OCEA. And let's see. I don't think it looks really bad, to be honest with you. I still think it's trying to get set up. It never, like I said, got out of the basement, and that 20's up there the 20's at 20. So it has some room to move up there, and it also has a little bit of room to just kind of run flat as it gets set up. So we'll look at OCEA in the morning. We'll see how it's setting up. And what did I say about these China small caps? I'm telling you, they're starting to get cruising, guys, and that holo is looking really good. I had like 189 million in volume on Friday. It was cruising along right there. It went 161 to 181. It got into that channel of that 20 and had a little bit of pullback there in the after hours. It's at 142, but I think this is one to look at in the morning. So we're going to keep an eye on Holo, HOLO, and see what it wants to do tomorrow. That's for sure. I think that's on the list to get cruising along. At least it's trying to get set up. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. B hat, that blue hat interactive, that ran, but it is a small cap China one as well. It was just pulling back. It's underneath that 20, I believe it was. It's right on the 20, actually. So it still has an opportunity to set up. We'll see how it looks tomorrow morning when it opens up there. It's not in a crazy bad spot at all. It's still in that channel. And it wasn't a great spot. It obviously ran up really good for us all the way up to that 14 cents the other day and has that pullback. But I think we might be trying to get set up again. And these China small caps are looking crazy. So we're going to see a bunch of them on the list. And we're going to keep an eye on a bunch of them too. And here we go. We're just going to rapid fire through a bunch of them here. LRHC, let's look at it. That's at La Rosa holding ones, and that's getting set up for this week. It was looking good Friday. I told you guys it was, and it was up on Friday. I know that. It was up like 15% or 17%, 22 to 26, and that's where it closed. So I was telling you guys it was looking good. And here it goes. We knew exactly where the bottom was. We stayed patient. The bottom was at 20, and now you're at about 20, almost 26 right there. And it is looking really healthy to get back to that 20 at 32. So that's exactly how you play them. You stay patient on them and you watch for that bottom, and then bam, you nail them. So that's a setup right there. And we've been watching it. And then, like I said, we knew exactly what that one was doing. How about that S dot? We've been watching this one run up, and it's over to 50 and looking pretty good there on Friday. Keep an eye on this 329 to 339. It closed at that 337, looking pretty good. And we were looking at it the other day saying it was looking good, and now it's popping up here. So keep your eye on SDOT, that static group right there, and it could pop up. I mean, it has a little resistance right there at 364, and it actually jumped up. Where's it at in the after? This Finviz said it was at 365. It could have pulled back. It says it's at 337, but regardless, it's over that 20 and looking pretty good. So keep an eye on SDOT, static group, and that one's setting up right there. And how about that AIM? We've been talking about this one again. We don't watch much news, but this one's aiming up, guys, and setting up right here. They have that bird flu thing with AstraZeneca or whatever's going on. We've looked at it before, and again, we don't look at much news at all, but I knew something was up here, and we scrolled down and saw its bottom was at 12 cents. You're almost at 14. I believe it did get over 14 the other day, and it is getting set up, guys. It looks good. What, 15 down to 13, closed at 14, and yeah, it's just about to hit that MACD and looking pretty solid right there for AIM. So keep an eye on that one. And this OCGN right here, let's take a look at this guy, OCG. Oh, if I could type tonight. Oh, I got to put my fingers on the right spot in the keyboard. That might help. But anyway, OCGN, it was pulling back a little bit on Friday, down 2 cents. But again, this is one to keep an eye on. I like it to try to turn around that entire chart. So you can stay patient with it. It's not flying up yet. It's just riding that MACD. But I like that bouncy bounce look because the other ones I've been doing it have been popping up real nice. That 20 is right there at about 72 cents. We're at 69 cents. So not looking bad at all right there for OCGN. We'll see if it wants to pull back a little bit tomorrow. We'll see how it opens up. But I think it's getting set up like I've been saying. I think it's going to change the chart and get bullish there. And let me take a look because that's a biotech thing. And I know during COVID, this thing it was starting to try to run. I don't see anything here, but I wouldn't doubt if they had something going on. So again, they're talking about some stupid COVID going on again, and out of the same place, I believe, out of Wuhan. So what an amazing thing that is, huh? No one could figure out how to get that fixed. I mean, Jesus. OCGN though, maybe they have the cure. I don't know, but it is getting set up, and we're gonna watch it. And that SYRS, we definitely are watching this thing because something's going on, and I think we know where that bottom was. It's down here at about 16 cents. We're at 17 and a half. It's been bouncing around a little bit. Looks like it wants to try to get set up. It might have had that dip and rip kind of look. On Friday, it came down to 16 cents right there. So yeah, we'll take a look at it. It's still over the MACD, and honestly, it looks like it wants to curl up. I know we've been looking at it for a few weeks, and each time we ever look at this thing and say it's getting set up, this bad boy gets set up, and it ran last time like a maniac. So SYRS, we'll just keep an eye tomorrow, see what they want to do. Again, Friday was like super, super red. I mean, the Mag 7 closed red, and mostly everything got red. Due to that talk about a new COVID and stuff like that. So it wasn't the most perfect day, but I'll tell you what, them China small caps will probably start running. If that's the case, they probably did last time, I believe. And this clue is big fish hook, guys, CLEU, and it's hitting that MACD. I would expect this one to try to get moving today. So keep an eye on Clue, that China liberal education, because that one's just riding flat right at the bottom line. They love to pop off of there, and it's hitting that line. It basically just set up for this week. So definitely keep an eye on Clue. I know we've been talking about it, and I know I said that was a clue before, but I think that one is gonna be popping, and Elon Gate thinks I'm right about the right go China. Nah, they just look like they're set up, and for whatever reason, they're gonna be popping there, and obviously, crazy news going on. And that LICN, we were early on this. We caught that bottom. We knew where that was, nice and patient, down at that, what, 5 cents, under 6 cents. And now you're back up almost at 8 cents right here at LICN. And that one's looking pretty good. So keep an eye on it. Ran up 7 to 9. It closed at 8. And our 20 is right there at that 8 cents. So it does look pretty good for tomorrow. LICN, another China small cap. So keep an eye on it. It's set up right there. There's a pattern going on. Remember, we looked at all them China education ones, and they would either been popping or setting up to get crazy. So, and we went through a bunch of them the other night. Icon, this one's getting to be in a really good spot, guys. I think this week, ICON, let's just watch it and see if there's any extra pullback right here while it gets set up. But I think your ICON gets put in a good spot. It's right there. I mean, the 20 is basically almost touching it. What did it get up to? 34. It's at 35. Right now it's at 29, but it did get up there just about to touch it, and it's coming down. And I think even tomorrow it could be a perfect setup. So it might not pop tomorrow, but it's getting set up right there. And we'll take a look at that. And there's some other ones. We'll look at these bad boys. I'll tweet them out real quick. You guys can just look. But here's some other China stocks that are green from Friday. So I just opened that up into a new browser, and we'll take a look at that. Let's just cruise through here because we have a ton of them on our list. And then IVF, let's take a look at that because that was cruising the other day for us, and now it's pulling back. It's hitting that bottom, guys. So we'll see. It might want to try to bounce back up tomorrow. I'm not so sure it does want to come into the basement again. It was just in there, so we'll look at it. I think it could have just been some pullback setting up to pop back up. So I'm going to take a look at that NIVF, but we were money on that thing. I mean, we knew that was popping up the other day. It ran twice up to what, that 279 and 289, and we nailed that thing perfectly. So that was a good one. And that Buru was setting up. We were looking at that the other day, and it ran up on Friday. And that was another one that was perfect, 21 to 49. It closed at 25, and it still doesn't look bad. It just had a lot of run up. So I have to see what that looks like on Friday. And then we'll take a look at Buru right there, and that's Buru. And like I said, I'll take a look at that one, NIVF, and see what they want to do. They both ran up, and we'll see if they want to continue. How about UPS was just pulling back? I know it was going up, what, Thursday, and it wasn't even bad, 116, and then it closed. It came down to 115. It still closed at 116.33, just a little under where it opened, UPS. But I think this one's trying to get set up. At least it looks like it's trying to. That bottom was back here February 11th, down at 109. It's at 116 right now. And we will look at it because that 20 is right over it at 118. So we'll see if it wants to just pull back to get set back up. So we'll look at that one. But I'll tell you which ones were perfect hits that we loved. How about that Elf, guys? I know you guys know that we were loving that, and it's going to curl out of the basement, it looks like. It was up 381, over 5% on Friday, and that was just a beautiful hit right there, and we loved it. It did cross through. And then the next one we loved too, LMT. Luis Rodriguez pointed it out the other day, right at that bottom, and it was at the bottom, popped right out of the basement just as we were talking about it. Bottomed out at like 419, and now you're back at 440 right there. So another beauty right there, and that one should try to run up. It's hitting that it's hitting the MACD. Maybe it bounces back one more time. We'll look at it tomorrow and then get set up again. They've been playing that 3 times, some 4 to get through. So we'll see. That one could do it. It already tried once. This is twice if it doesn't get through. And we'll see how it opens up tomorrow for LMT. But a beauty right there, up over $4. So that was a great shot too for Lockheed Martin. And AAP, this was down a little bit on Friday. And yeah, it's getting set up for this week. I bet Friday is going to be its bottom. We'll look for tomorrow to have a little bit of pullback if it wants to, and then that'll be its bottom and ready to get rolling. It has that earnings coming up on the 26th, which is Wednesday. So we might just hang out for that one. And overnight on Elf, it is at 76.50. So it's up another $1.58 right there. So there you go. I mean, just perfect calls right there, guys. And that's what you want to do. Just look at the best opportunities. We called them out perfectly and knew which ones were looking great. And boom, they were nice. So, and you can run probably them this week. Like I said, Elf looks great. Lockheed Martin could pull back, but that was up over $4. And that's exactly what we're going to do with advanced auto parts. That could bottom out. And like I said, it has its earnings. It could be popping up on that earnings. So we'll take a look at it and see if that is the case right there. And we'll see about advanced auto parts, AAP. But let's go ahead. Oh, it's what is it doing overnight? It's up $1.55 overnight. Advanced Auto Parts. There you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel. Perfect. It's at 44.99 overnight. So there you go, guys. Exactly what we're talking about. That probably was. It could have been its bottom right there Friday, and now it's going to be popping. So it's one to keep our eye on because it's probably getting set up to run just like Elf and LMT just did. And how about HEPA right here? HEPA. This one was trying to get set up, and it's in a pretty good spot. It's just waiting for that 20. Let me take a better look at HEPA here. It's got to hop up here. We'll see how it opens up tomorrow. 18 down to 16. It closed at 17. It's not looking bad. I just want to see if it has any pullback left in it tomorrow, and then watch and see how it gets set up, and I'll let you guys know. BZAI, we were looking at this. It pulled back again, and we were looking for that bottom. I think it bottomed out down here at that 285, and we're just watching it pull back, and your 20s right here at about 490 area, and you're at 409. But I don't know. This thing just had that look. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. And if it's not getting set up, we'll just take it off. But it had that look the other day, and I said I'd keep an eye on it. It hit the 20 back there on the 18th, and now it's just pulling back a little bit. So I'll take a look at it, BZAI, and see what it wants to do. And if it's nothing, it won't make it back on the list. AEHL, we'll look at that antelope. That was trying to run up the other day, and it ran up a little bit on Friday as well. What it do? I know it ran Thursday up to 15, and on Friday it ran basically the same thing, 14 to 15. It closed at 14 and still looking good in that channel to curl up there. So keep an eye on AEHL, the old antelope. It is running up. And True Golf, let's look at it because this one was trying to get through that resistance the other day and it pulled back, but I think it was healthy and it did. It caught itself right on that 20. I think it's going to start trying to curl back up now and get set up and then try to move again. So watch for True Golf. It looks like it is. Looks like it's going to roll off that MACD, get back up over that 50, which is at 53 cents. It's at 45 right now, and I think you're going to get rolling. It just didn't get the momentum the other day when we were looking at it. It tried to in the pre-market. It was looking decent. It was trying to run through, and then all of a sudden it just got pulled back there. But again, it just came back into that channel. I think it was more healthy than anything on True Golf, TRUG, and we see a good setup right there. And that UOKA, that thing was running up, and we caught that popper perfectly, and we definitely nailed that as well. And yesterday, yeah, Friday it went 17 to 28. It did close back at 17, but I mean that was a beauty. And honestly, it's been popping up a lot. So keep an eye on it because it definitely could get cruising again, just the way it's been bouncing up there. So that's one to keep an eye on just for them bounces for sure. And that's UOKA. And I know Scott's been watching that thing and playing it. And like I said, it does bounce around a lot. So what was that one? CYN. I put the wrong thing in. CYN it is. And they just had the reverse split and we were just watching it. And honestly, I think it might have bottomed out there Friday. It might be ready this week. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. And that bottom could have been 670. It's at 746 right now after the reverse split. And we're going to keep an eye on that to get set up right there. So CYN, I think we got to keep an eye on that now for that good old reverse split run. And it's in the basement, so it would run out of the basement on a reverse split. We definitely love that. And RTC, that was moving last week and then started moving again on Friday. And another one, we've been all over it. We ran it up the other day. You got to be quick on them, but they did set up again. And it probably did bottom out there on Thursday at that 45 cents. And then on Friday, 51 to 87. Not looking bad, honestly. It's hitting that 20 right there at about 70. Well, it's not hitting it now, but it crossed through at about 75 cents. It did get up to that 87. We're at 52 right now. And again, still not looking bad right there. And another one of them China small caps that we've been watching. So keep an eye on it. It could get moving. And I believe the next one's one of the China small caps, CHSN. Yeah, it is. Chanson. That Chanson International certainly is one of the China small caps, and I think that pulled back exceptionally well. Not for us, but it just pulled back exceptionally well to get popping, it looks like, because it looks like it tried to make that base on Friday. I didn't expect it to pull back that much, to be honest with you. But I guess if it's going to pull back, it might as well pull back and set up to get running. It's been sitting right there on that 20. I mean, it's practically wants to go through it nonstop. It ran 48 to 59, so it did run up, but that was early on Friday. I know it was because I remember talking about it Friday morning in the pre-market show. It had already run up to like 59 cents, and then it was already pulling back down there. It got down to 31, and it closed at 33. So it absolutely ran, but it was super early in the morning, and you had to get out of it at that point because now it dipped down to 33. And again, I think it's just a really solid pullback to try to get popping, is what it looks like to me. And that is at CHSN. So we'll obviously look at that tomorrow and another China small cap. And yeah, it definitely pulled back more than I thought it would. But yeah, it does look like it's trying to set up. And on the FinViz, you look at it and it doesn't even show you that pre-market move. It just shows you on Friday 39 to 40 and came down to what 36 and then it closed at like 33, which that's accurate. But it did run up in the morning and it did get up to 59 cents. So we'll see how it sets up tomorrow. Maybe it has a few days to just get set up down here and then it's going to get cruising. So that's CHSN. Did run up Friday for a quick second early and then obviously pulled back even more. CYCU, this thing's a beauty too. Of just love watching this thing pull back because we're just waiting for it to get ready. It's not ready yet, and we'll see. It looks like CYCU that Friday could be its bottom down there at that 122. It did close at 132, but that doesn't mean it can't pull back anymore. So we'll make sure that it's the bottom tomorrow, and then we'll address that thing because that thing was trading like crazy up here. February 7th, it was up at like $53 and came down to 20. And right now we're looking at $1.29. So just imagine the people that got smoked on this thing. It is a shell company, and they do love to get rolling. And it was a new IPO on when March 18th. So was that from last year? I'm not sure, but I know it's a shell company. I can definitely tell, and it looks like it started right here on like January 7th to me, but I could be wrong. Nah, probably back here. Maybe it was just running around like, and yeah, who knows, but it don't matter. And but yeah, it's a shell company. Like I said, they have that look, and then all of a sudden they just start moving. It's the weirdest thing, and then they go from tops to bottoms all the time, and bottoms to top. So yeah, we're keeping an eye on CYCU. That is for sure. So let's watch that bad boy because that one had a nasty dip right there. And that ADTX, honestly, ran up and it is pulling back, but did not look terrible. So we will definitely take a look at it tomorrow morning and see what it wants to do. It never crossed through and it kind of just stuck there on the 20. It's still in the channel. And if that 20 tries to curl up just a little bit, it'll bring it back up and keep it in that channel. So, and then it can start running again and maybe even go even higher. Because the other day it ran up to what, like 15 cents or something, almost 16, I forget. But I think it was even higher than that. I forget what it ran up to. 16 cents, somewhere's in that area. So yeah, I think it could get set up. We'll have to see how ADTX opens up tomorrow. And then we'll see. Oh, they're on the CYCU is on the NASDAQ, and provides corporate update on March 18th. So we do have a little bit of time, and yeah, they're gonna have to get things together because, like I said, that thing was way up there, and we're definitely keeping an eye on that CYCU and ADTX. Like I said, I'll look at it tomorrow, and we'll see if it can stay in that channel and get curled back up. And once the bounce, we'll know probably tomorrow on that one if it wants to run again. And this LITM has just been pulling back here, and I think this is going to be a great opportunity. It's actually a Canadian one. It's called what, that Snow Lake Resources. I know we followed it before and it popped really nice once before for us. 52 to 53 down to 44, and it closed at 47. We'll see if that 44 is its bottom right there. I'm not sure. It could pull back another day, but it appears to be getting set up. So we'll have to watch this thing and see if it wants to actually get bouncing too, because it's all the way down there and has that look where it could kind of try to bounce. I'm not so sure though. I think your trend line is going to come up here and try to meet it. They're meeting now. It was trying to get really set up, but I don't think it had enough time. So it's going to need a little bit more time. But I think that bottom's going to come up, and that bottom's going to bottom out, and then it's going to start coming up and moving in the right direction. So LITM, another one we're going to keep an eye on, and I'll keep you posted on that. And Mind Medicine is MNMD, Mind Medicine. There we go. And they do have earnings coming up March 6th, so we have time. But that one looks like it's just pulling back. I know it had run up not long ago, and by not long ago, the other day, probably like what, last week, the 18th. Yeah, that was last week. And so yeah, that one was running up last week, but now pulling back, hitting the 50. And we'll see if it wants to stop down here around the 750 area. So I'll take a look at it and see what it wants to do tomorrow, but you can't really tell. SLDB, that Solid Biosciences. This thing's still in the top right there. It did pull back, and it looks like it tried to jump up some in the after hours. SLDB. Yeah, I'll have to look at this. Your 20's meeting up with your 50. It very well could try to get curled back up into that top area and get cruising. I'm going to take a look at that SLDB and see what that wants to do. It is in the top and trying to curl back up there. So, an interesting one, but I bet if it curls back up in the top, it's going to run up there and be a nice little popper, like a nice momentum play. And that is SLDB right there. And IGPK. I'm not even sure what that is. IGPK. That's an OTC, Integrated Cannabis Solutions. I'm not even sure. But it's been moving up as well. And again, I don't know the OTCs as well. And this is at that 0.0067, so I would really not know it. But it doesn't look bad. I mean, it ran up on Friday, so I'm not sure how much more it wants to run up. I just had the one chart look. And but yeah, it definitely ran up there, and it doesn't look too bad. I'll say that, but I can't promise you anything on there. And that is IGPK, and it is called Integrated Cannabis Solutions, and it is an OTC. And again, I'm not the best at OTCers, but I try to take a look. Some are easier, some I can get a look at, and just some aren't. That one obviously ran up, so you got to be careful with it. That's all I'm saying. And this next one, you can tell is a shell company without even looking at it. And ASBP, as soon as the chart came up, I knew I didn't even have to look to see if it was. And it is. And just the way they run. And then it goes all the way flat. And then all of a sudden, they just end up in the bottom. So this thing was just trading at like 1580 the other day on February 12th. And now it's at 256 in the basement. And it's going to pop right back out and run again. So ASBP, keep an eye on this thing and we'll watch it. Aspire Biopharma Holdings. And yeah, you might even have a little bounce on your hands tomorrow. So keep an eye on it because it barely got into that basement. And this one could be one of them bouncers. So we will look at it tomorrow. ASBP, let me put a 4 near there so I remember to look at this guy. And because that one you might want to look at in the morning just to see if it's bouncing. Obviously, if it's not, you'll know. and we'll look at it tomorrow, see when it wants to get set up. But it does have that look where it could happen. So just giving you a heads up on that. STEC, this one was up 8 cents and looks like it's trying to pop up. Now it's making that hard curl up, so it'll have to keep that momentum after the weekend. So we definitely have to look at it. It's called Sandtech Holdings, and it doesn't look bad. But again, over the weekend, you just never know. It went 57 to 101. It closed at 88. Does not look bad at all, but just keep an eye on. Could be an easy momentum play right there. And but you definitely have to keep an eye on it because it did run up and it was the weekend, and you know how we love that. PRPH, I believe, is that, yeah, PRPH Pro Phase Labs. And this one was just run up on Thursday, pulling back a little bit. We'd have to see what it wants to do right here tomorrow if it wants to get curled back up. But I think Friday or Thursday might have been its top, and it could come back into that channel into like the 40s. It's at 54 area. So we'll keep an eye on it. PRPH, that pro phase. I know it did run up last week, and it was Thursday. And we'll see if it wants to get set up or if it's just going to bounce around and then get set up. DGLY, that digital ally, that's still in the basement. It was trying to get out the other day, and it felt like that bottom was down there at that 7 cents. It's at 8, and I still feel like that bottom was there. It looked like it tried to cross through the other day, and it looks like it's trying to get set up here. So I would definitely keep an eye on this. 8 to 9. It closed at 8. It's a pretty close to 9 cents right there. And I think DGLY is getting set up right there and is looking good. So keep an eye on that one right there. DGLY, I think you might have a runner for that. And at least it's getting really set up right there. And RSLS, that's Reshape Life Sciences. And I remember we were looking at it and then it pulled back even more. And we'll just watch to see how much it pulls back and gets set up here. I'm not so sure. Maybe the other day was its bottom at that 80 cents when it pulled all the way back on the 18th. The other day it got down to 102. So we'll know tomorrow. It does look like that 80 cents was its bottom down there, but we'll keep an eye on it and just look for any dips on RSLS. And I have a feeling that one's going to try to get set up anyway. So, and it's been in the basement not for that long. It got down there, but took a really good dip in the basement. So it was trying to set up and then came down. And usually when they do that, they try to get set up and get moving. And that CELH, that was cruising the other day. We looked at this bad boy. It was on the list the last few days. They had earnings. It's red. I don't know, but it looks like it must have done well because it definitely flew up there. And their earnings were on what, Wednesday, right? Thursday on the 20th, I believe. And then, yeah, it just flew up Friday. But I'll tell you what, it has that look, and you have to be careful again over the weekend where it just popped its head right into the top. We'll see. It's at 32.40 in the after hours right there, but it did get cruising. So, and yeah, we'll take a look at it and see what it wants to do tomorrow morning. And just watch it early in the morning, though, guys. CELH, the Celius Holdings, it could be one of them runners early in the morning. So keep an eye on it for a little momentum right there because you could get that squeeze out of it again. FBGL, FBS Glow. This is that new one that's just running flat there. I'm surprised it didn't try to move, but it's just, I guess, making a really good base. So we'll keep an eye on this thing and see what it wants to do this week. And we'll see if it gets set up to get moving. And again, it's brand new. Don't really have much on the chart, but it just appears to be making a base down there. And OSCR, Oscar Health. This one was pulling back and well, it's coming down hard on that trend line right there. OSCR, let me see. Yeah, it's coming down. I'd have to look at this in the morning. It came pretty hard on that 50. It looks like it's going to pull back. It's still over your MACD, but I'm not so sure it's going to curl up. I'm not saying it's not, but it's coming down pretty good on it. So I'd have to look at that OSCR in the morning. So if you like that one, you want me to check it out in the morning, just remind me, and I certainly will because you really can't tell. And OST, Austin Technology right here is a China one. And it was trying to get set up. It looks like it's going to take like that that two or three that three Whoa, that three curled up. I just smacked my light when I moved my hand to go curling up. That's too funny. But OST looks like it's gonna smack the MACD like I just did with my light and come down and then set up again. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what it looks like. It's right on that 20 and it's been riding it, but like I said, I think it could take another time to get through on that OST right there. And let's look at good old HUT. Hut 8. This one's not doing so well. Crypto pulling back. I know that they have some earnings coming up March 3rd, and it was trying to get set up there. And another one, I guess we should have known because it's hitting the MACD. It's going to pull back. It's hitting that bottom, and it very well could pop down into the bottom right there. HUT. So take a look at it tomorrow and see if it's going to pull back some more. And then it really could be a good dip opportunity right there on HUT. And again, the crypto is just getting crushed right now. All kinds of nonsense between the scams and COVID and this and that and everything else. It's just crazy. So that's HUT, and we'll keep an eye on that as we look at COVID. APDN, Applied DNA Sciences, they had earnings not long ago. It did pull back. Maybe Friday was at bottom. Let me see. Where's it at? 15 cents down there at APDN on Friday. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I would take a look at this thing. APDN, it very well could try to get crossed up. If it doesn't get through tomorrow, it's obviously pulling back and going through the next time. But it almost looks like that dip and rip look on APDN. I have to look at that one tomorrow. That's not looking bad at all right there. NDRA, we're familiar with this one, that's for sure. NDRA is Endura Life Sciences. And that pulled back quite a bit on Friday, and we'll see if that's that dip and rip look. NDRA right there. Yeah, that's a nice dip right there. It went, what, 452 all the way down to 433, and that's where it closed. We'll see if it wants to pull back any more, but that's probably going to be a really good opportunity. And you can see it already tried to curl through once, twice. It hit that line hard and came down. And then this next time, it's going to go through just this pattern that we picked up. I'm telling you, it's working for all of them. TWG right there, Top Wealth Group. And this one ran up the other day. I'm not so sure that one's going to be. It's in the channel, but it's hard to tell what it wants to do tomorrow. It's more or less, I have to look at it. It's sitting right there, 21 to 22. It's got a tight little channel there, and it could pull back. It could do either way. I'd have to look at it after the weekend, tell you what it wants to do tomorrow. And AUUD, this one ran up the other day. I know. I forget who looks at it, but somebody usually looks at this thing. And let's see, I'm trying to remember. I can picture your profile, and I just can't picture your name. I can just think of your name, and I know who looks at it all the time. And I remember it ran up the other day on the 19th, last Wednesday. I remember seeing it run up there. And what it get up to, like that 85 cents? It's back to 39, and it is pulling back right now, AUD. So it could have a little more pullback, but it definitely ran up pretty good the other day. I remember seeing that one running up. And AEON Biopharm was up a penny, and this one's getting to be in a good spot, guys. So let's keep an eye on this AEON. Let me type it in. And yeah, that one looks pretty good and looks like it's trying to get set up right there to move. So keep an eye on AEON. It is looking good. Let me mark that right there. And there we go with that side. Now let's just keep on cruising. And we have a lot more other people's requests, and then also we have some vaccines and precious metals that Laptop Travel sent over right there. So we'll take a look at them bad boys as well, and then we'll take a look at our Laptop Travel list and our Jolie's jams. But yeah, the vaccines and the precious metals are probably really good ones to look at right now, especially with this whole Fort Knox thing and the gold. And then I almost said Fort Dix, but it is Fort Knox. Fort Knox with the gold, and then obviously we're talking about another COVID outbreak and that with the vaccine. So two interesting things going on at one time, and that's why you got to stay up on the trends and see what's popping. But AEON is looking good for tomorrow, so keep your eye on it. And then talking about gold, let's just look at GOLD because somebody wanted to see Barrick, and it has been running up. It got up to the top the other day. And what it do? It got up to that $19, yeah, and it's just pulling back. We'll have to see. I mean, gold's just been running up hard. It hasn't really got up into the top like hardcore. It almost looks like it tried to top out, but it has multiple times, and it just easily pulls back and then just pops right back up. So it could just be as it's stair stepping up, and it's easily stair stepping, like slowly stair stepping into the top, and it will run more. So. Gold not looking bad, and one that we'll take a look at. BITX is the two-time Bitcoin strategy ETF, and obviously pulling back, and it was trying to curl through, and we should have known just looking at it and knowing it already tried it once right there, and this would call it two times. I mean, it could be the third, but not really. I'd call it twice, and the next time it should get through. So they're all doing it. I don't know, understand why, but it seems to be a really good pattern to keep track of right there. And the ETHT is obviously the Ultra Ether ETF right there, ETHT. And this one is just kind of flat down there at the bottom. It wants to run, but it just can't right there. So ETHT. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it tried to run up there on Friday at that 1345, and it's just not letting it. So you might see a little more pullback on that, but it's trying to make a base. It wants to go, but it's just not allowing it. And that's ETHT and good old Fubo, FUBO, Fubo TV. And that one is pulled back 9 cents, but I'll tell you what, this one could be getting set up. It has earnings the last day of the month on the 28th, which is next Friday. So the month ends on Friday right there. Let's just look at this tomorrow and see if it pulls back and how much it wants to pull back, and then we'll see what the setup looks like. But it was trying to get set up right there for FUBO, and it very well possibly could be getting set up. So we'll want to keep an eye on that to find that setup right there. And Weemy ran up. Remember, we looked at this bad boy, that WIMI, Weemy hologram. It was popped up Friday, and guess what it is? One of them China small caps. Go figure, huh? And we are definitely looking at it before. Now it's 114 to 143. It closed at 122, and we were definitely looking at it down here in like the 90 cent area. So there you go for WIMI, and we are always early. I know that, and that's when we were talking about these China small caps running. So boom, there you go. And MLGO, how about that monster right there? I mean, that went absolutely ballistic and possibly could do it some more. So MLGO, you know, we watched this thing. That's another China small one, and it did go nutty, 292 to 1171. It did close at 550. But watch it tomorrow. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing you it's going to run the top, but it's in there, so it very well could run up early. So just watch it for a little momentum right there on MLGO. And yeah, that was a beast right there. And actually, Luis Rodriguez pointed that out the night before, and it was like, oh yeah, that looks good. And bam, there it went. It went cruising right there. So we do see just about everything, I have to say. OXBR, and like I said, I don't even point them all. I don't pick them all out. You guys find a ton of them. I just look at the charts and tell you what's going to be popping. That's all we do. So as a great team, as a show right here, we find everything. So that's why you definitely want to listen, and we try to make it entertaining and fun as you can probably make stock charts. We run through a ton of them, and I know some of them are probably boring and you'll never look at it, but guess what? You might learn something. And I'll tell you what, the more you hear these stock charts and just going through them and kind of look at them real quick, you'll pick them up and learn the patterns and start nailing them yourself. So that's the beauty of it too, and everything's on YouTube. YouTube. It's all up to date, so you can always watch them. And I definitely have to get that figured out to do these things live because I've been slacking on that for sure. But I do say it takes me a little while to do things now, and I'll get that done. That's on my list. So we'll get that rocking and rolling real soon. I think we definitely need to have live shows, and you guys can see the charts. So OXBR, let's see Oxbridge Reholdings right here. And that one looks like it ran up on Thursday pretty good. It could move back up tomorrow, but I'd have to look at that again after the weekend. It's just tough. It wanted to pull back, and it was on Friday. And what it do 590 down to 501 and closed at 502. But your 20's down here at 482, and it could easily stop itself and try to bounce back up. I'm not saying it definitely will, but we could definitely look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to. And RETO, that Reto Echo Solutions, RETO Echo Solutions right there is curling up big old fish hook. It did pop up Thursday. I do remember it running up and us talking about it. What it do on Thursday? I forget. 40 to 194. I do remember it popping, and that was like in the after hours, I believe. Or maybe it ran up. No, maybe it ran up on Thursday, 37 to 75. Then Friday, it actually ran 40 to 194. I didn't even notice that, but Friday it went nutty too. So I don't know if it ran in the pre-market or what, but I missed that completely. But that did run up to 194. We were definitely looking at it. So we'll probably see a little pullback on that one, but that did get cruising RETO. And KWE is like a Canadian aerospace and defense. It sure is. It's like K West Microsystems. And they had earnings back there on February 18th, and it did pop up on it. It looks like it's kind of pulling back just a little bit. Yeah, it was pulling back on Friday. You might have a little bit of pullback on this. Maybe it gets set back up. We can take a look at it, but it does appear to be pulling back at the moment. And ISPC, iSpecimen, and this one's pulling back and hitting that bottom. So we'll just look for that bottom right there on ISPC. And wait, maybe it got bouncing on at the end of the day. It's at what, 214? What it do? 181 to 224, and it closed at 214. And Finviz has it at 183 in the after hours, 181 to 187. And there's another example, and it definitely popped up in that after hours right there and got up to that 224. It's at 214 and looks really good right now. So ISPC again. There's another example. But anyway, looking much better, ISPC. So you might want to keep an eye on that one. And VRAX, isn't that a one of them vaccine ones? Virax Biolabs, I would say so. And this thing's getting curled up, guys. I would keep an eye on Virax, VRAX, looking great. It looks like it ran in the after hours because it's not showing it really here. It does say it went up 13 cents to $2. And let's see. It does say it's at 180 to 240 at 208. And I would say keep an eye on that. It did pop up in the after hours, but not looking bad right there for Virax, VRAX. And that COEP was pulling back. It was down another 51 cents, and it looks like it's still going to pull back right there. So we'll see if it tries to base out. Maybe Thursday at that 927 will be its bottom again and tries to curl up. We'll take a look at it. But it looks like it tried to curl through, and it's probably going to have to do that like 3 curl time to get through, like everything else at this point. And TANH, another China small cap, recently reverse split, and I'd say that bottom was Thursday at that 283. It's at 321. I think we looked at this last week, and we're talking about it with the China small caps, and it did run 310 to 430. It's at 335, and it is looking good. I would keep an eye on TANH as well, because that's looking nice right there. So keep an eye on that one. Another China one. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They're going to be blasting off, and when they get running like crazy. B. Riley Financial. Remember, this one was pulling back big time. It looks like Friday could have been like a nice dip and rip. It went from 310 to 273 all the way up to 410. And let's see what a good old Riley closed at here. RILY 310 up to 410. It closed at 332. And it looks like it's trying to get us set up there. So B. Riley Financial Good old RILY. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad. We'll have to look at good old Riley there and see what he's up to. And let's see where are we at here. NEHC. Let's look at it. That new era helium. Let's see what that's up to. Just a little pullback right there. It was pulling back Friday. You can see it. And let's see. NEHC. Yeah, it's just in that channel. I'd have to see what that sets up tomorrow, but it was just pulling back into that channel on Friday. And WNW, another China small cap one we've been talking about. And keep your eye on this bad boy, guys, because this one's getting curled up. So I think this one's going to be a runner, and this was on our list the other day as well. So keep your eye on WNW, because I was saying it sounded like a wrestling match, and I think it's going to get fighting right there. So keep your eye on it. It's right under that 20 right there. And your 20 is literally at like 21 cents. You're at 19, and it wants to go through it. It got through it the other day, it looks like. So yeah, keep an eye on that bad boy. WNW. It's like Me Woo Technology Group Company or something like that. And it is looking good. Let's go ahead and blast through some vaccines real quick. We'll look at the vaccines, the precious metals, and then we'll keep on cruising. Here we go. mRNA. We know that's Moderna. And remember, we were looking at it not long ago and it was trying to get set up, and then it took that nice dip. I wonder if this had something to do with it because it was, remember I was saying it looked really good for some odd reason, and that was about 3 weeks ago. I had to pull it up because I had it on the list there for a couple days, and I bet it was about 3 weeks ago. And yeah, Moderna mRNA looking really good right there, so you might want to keep an eye on that. Maybe we got to play that one with some options right there, and obviously Pfizer. And we were looking at that getting set up because I remember it was on the scanner and looking great, guys. So yeah, we might have to play a Pfizer and Moderna right there on some options because both of them look really good right there with this vaccine talk. BNTX BioNTech SE. This one's at 120 and getting set up. Holy cow, yeah, it is. BNTX, you might want to keep an eye on that one, guys. I think that's a runner right there. I'll be looking at that thing and seeing if it has some options. I'm going to check that out, see if they have options on BNTX. That looks good. NVAK. Let's see what this looks like. NVAK right here. I don't even see that. Let me look. NVAK. What did I write the wrong thing? I might have wrote the wrong thing. I'll have to go back and look. But I don't see it anywhere on either chart. J&J is Johnson and Johnson. We know that, and that thing's already running up, and looks like it wants to keep going. So just keep an eye on J&J for the morning. Could be a great momentum play if I could. There we go. J&J. Yeah, looks like it wants to continue its way up, and it's at like 162, and it's cruising along there, guys. So it could be at like getting to be all-time highs right there for J and J, and looking good for Johnson and Johnson and AZN. That's AstraZeneca right there. Remember, they were looking at something with AIM. It's just pulling back, but it's still over that trend line. Still looking good right there. I bet this thing's going to get cruising back up. It just has that crazy look about it. So we'll look at it. Watch for any pullback. If it can come back into the 72s, it's at 74 right there, AZN. But that's AstraZeneca, and that one is doing something with that one AIM that we were looking at as well. So we're keeping an eye on that. And GSK is a drug manufacturer, and this one is just pulling back there on Friday, but not really, like more or less pulling back to try to get set up, it looks like. I'll have to look at it. Could be bouncing right off that MACD. I'd have to look at that one. GSK and SNY. Sanofi ADR, and this one looks like it's trying to curl through. We'll have to make sure it curls through because, again, they do like to take 3 times, and this one's making that hard curl up. It does appear that it wants to, but we know that they could pull back looking like that. So we'll just take a look at that. And INO is at, it was up 2 cents. It's at 224. I know this was at like $13, $15. I traded this one before. And this one looks like it's trying to get curled up here, INO. So keep an eye on this one. And it's called like Inovio or something. I forget how to say it. And but yeah, it's looking pretty good. That 20 and 50 are meeting up right there. And it has a lot of room. Like I said, I remember this is traded at like $13 and all the way up there plus. So it's been beat down and it looks pretty good on INO. I'd keep an eye on that. I'm gonna mark that one right there, looking pretty good for a setup. And what's VIR? What's that one? Back by Biotech, VIR, biotechnology. What? I can't even talk. Biotechnology. Why can't I say that? There we go. And another one was trying to make that curl up there. Has earnings coming up next week on Wednesday, and I think it's going to be a little pullback until earnings on VIR. So there you go with some vaccine ones right there. And let's take a look at some precious metals because they're setting up as well. GLD, this gold is at the top, and this one does look like it could be trying to, it could go either way. So I have to look at gold in the morning and see what it wants to do. It's touching down onto that MACD. It could bounce up. So I'll look at gold in the morning. And let's look at AIU. Is that, yeah, that's the Gold Trust one. And again, just flat at the top. Yeah, it could go either way, guys. I'll have to look at gold in the morning just to see what that wants to do. You could tell it wants to do something, that's for sure. And it can definitely go either way with no problem. And let's look at silver, SLV. And that's just a little bit of pullback, but above that trend line right there. I don't think it was anything bad on Friday. So I think it could just be a little healthy pullback there for SLV. And the GDX is some more gold miners ETFs. And it is pulling back, actually. That one looks like it's coming down a little bit at the moment. And GDXJ is another of the junior gold miners, and that one's coming down to the 20. And they're crossed down through the MACD and appear that like they want to pull back a little bit more. Maybe they get hung up on the 20 tomorrow. And again, over the weekend, it's just tough to tell exactly what they want to do, but we can absolutely take a look at them tomorrow. And PPLT is a physical platinum shares. I don't know why it says ABRDN, whatever that means. It's an ETF, and it is pulling back. It was down 93 cents. And this one, the platinum one, looks like it's pulling back just a hair, PPLT. So watch for some pullback on that, and then it'll get set up. So it had just run up there, too. So that is the platinum. And let's look at PALL. Palladium. I can't even say that word. Anyway, but yeah, that one's coming back. So these precious metal ones are just pulling back, and they're not, it's nothing bad. They had run up there and kind of topped out, and you can tell they're getting set back up to run. They're just not ready yet. And GLT something, GLTR. Yeah, GLTR is precious metals basket shares, whatever that is. But that looks like it's pulling back too, and it just got topped out. So they do look like they're gonna have a little bit of pullback. SIL, the global silvers miners ETF, was pulling back, hitting the MACD in 20. We'll look at that tomorrow and just get a better idea. So yeah, that one's hitting down hard, and again, that one could go either way. It just had that really hard pullback, and obviously could take a really nice bounce. Could go either way. Looks like it's just waiting on some news. And that is SIL, and SGOL is physical gold shares. And again, just sitting straight top, like flat at the top, and can bounce up, go crazy at the top, or pull back, cross through the MACD, and come down pretty good. They're just sitting there, it's like a coin flip, honestly. You just can't even tell what they want to do. They just left it up over the weekend to just do whatever. And obviously, NUGT is the gold miners index bull 2 times. And that one pulled back. They all look the same. It's crossed through, but hitting the 20. And they could easily pop right back up with no problem. And they all have that same look. So there you go with the precious metals and your vaccines. And now we'll run through our laptop lowdowns real quick and our Jolie's jams. and I see some other ones that we were looking at or people want to look at as well. And we'll definitely take a look and see what you guys want to see. Plus, our crypto is down. We'll take a quick look at it and see what else is going to go happen and popping for tomorrow. So here we go. We'll run through our laptop lowdowns because you know there's going to be a bunch of good setups. I'll mark them down, keep track of them this week. We'll see what's going to be popping. Like this AMIX is getting ready. It was running up there on Friday right there, AMIX. Gold's moving up in the overnight, so that is a good sign. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on gold. Thanks, Laptop Travel, for that, and we will keep an eye on that. AMIX. I know we looked at it before. Just got into that channel, and I would look at it tomorrow, guys. It doesn't look bad right there. BIAF Bioaffinity Technologies, another one curling up really nice. It was up 2 cents, and this one's going to get rolling, guys. So keep an eye on BIAF right there. The first two laptop travel ones looking really good right there. And BLMZ is Bloom Z something. Yeah, Bloom Z Inc. I remember we looked at it and it just got right into that area right there. So not looking bad. BLMZ. Yeah, it's right in that 20, curling up right there, and I have a feeling it's going to start running up towards the 50 cent area. So that one looks pretty good right there. And CCM, Concord Medical Services. Oh, this one's starting to look good too. Curling up hard. Just to make sure it can cross through, because again, we know that they like to hit, and it's hitting it hard right now. So we'll see if it gets through. It's running big time, and it's in one of them spots. But even if not, it's going to pull back a little bit, catch that bottom, and then it'll really run up. So CCM, we'd have to take a look at that one real quick and let's dare to see what this biosciences is doing. And it's just completely flat right there. It looks like it wants to run though. DARE. It ran up on Thursday up to 335. It's at 315. It caught itself on the 20 on Friday. It doesn't look bad, so we'll have to look at that one as well. But it does look like it's trying to set back up. DSY is Big Tree Cloud Holdings, and this one's curling up. It was up 12 cents, and I was going to say, it looks like it wants to start moving, and I guess it already was on Friday right there. And yeah, 202 to 217. It closed at 208, and I'd keep an eye on that DSY. It's not looking bad. Might not be 100%er right there, but it will get running. FOXX, the good old Fox. Let's see what Fox is up to. Fox Developments, Computer Electronics, and let's see. It almost looked like it was a shell company at one point and became something. I don't know. But anyway, it's looked like it's curling up. It was down 6 cents. Let's see what the Fox is up to right here. And 437 to 464, and it closed at 453. Not looking bad on mine. In between that channel, your 50s right there, 485. So look for it to try to run up towards that area for the FOXX. Good old Fox right there, and GITS, Global Interactive Technologies. And let's see, that one's right on the 22, GITS. And that one looks like it's trying to curl up. What's that TRNR doing? That one just reminded me because that was called Interactive Strength. What was the other one just called? I thought they were Interactive Technologies. I was going to say they had something in common. That TRNR dipped down under $1 on Friday, and maybe that's at bottom. I mean, it's trying to curl up there and try to get ripping, so we'll have to take a look at that in the morning as well. Good old TRNR, they are just taking huge dips anymore before they get rolling. Most of the big caps aren't dipping that hard. They're pretty easy to find the bottoms at the moment. I mean, these pennies are running. You just got to be super patient with them and make sure that you catch them bottom dips, or not even the bottom, just catch that dip down there before they get running, because if you get in them too early and they start pulling back big time, it's becomes kind of a disaster right there. GLBZ, that Glen Burnie Bank Corp. I don't even know this, but it looks like it's trying to cruise up here. It is a bank one. GLBZ. Yeah, that one. I'd keep an eye on that. I don't think I ever heard of that before, but it looks pretty good right there. And GLMD, Galamed Pharmaceuticals or something. And that one's curling up and tried to run on Friday, it looks like. Let me see. 267 to 289. It's at 270 right now. And another one not looking bad. So a ton of great ones right here. IFBD. That's Infobird Company, and that looks like it's about to run up some more. It was trying to run up the other day. IFBD. Yeah. 196 to 221. It closed at that 204 area and doesn't look bad right there. And IZM. Ixzoom Group. I remember looking at this and it started popping up on Friday. That was on our list before. 122 to 133. It's at 129, and keep an eye on that one because that one does look good right there. And like I said, it was on the list. Lion Group, good old LGHL, and we can do the big cats. But yeah, the Lion Group, we knew it was getting set up, and it's just been bouncing around. Friday, it ran up a little bit, 15 to 17. Came back to that 15, but not looking too bad. We'll look at JagX real quick while we're talking about the big cats. And that had run up the other day and probably topped out at that 103. We're back at 86. We'll probably see it try to curl off the MACD when it comes back there for JagX. And our Cheetah CTNT right here. Good old Cheetah down 3 cents. Just a little bit flat, nothing crazy. Let me see what it did here in the after. Oh, wait, Cheetah ran 204 to 287 and 193. When did that run? Because this does not show it. 204 to 208. It either did it in the pre-market or in the after hours. I'd have to say in the pre-market because it's down to 193 and it ran up to 287. So remember the Cheetah was getting set up and it definitely ran. And it looks like it wants to do it some more. So we'll keep an eye on that. And our cat, good old red cat. Remember I was saying these things want to set up, but I wasn't convinced that they want to run yet. And there you go. It had some nice pullback on Friday. 861 down to 7 something. 782 it's at. So that was a good one pulling back right there. And there I'll post out the IZM chart because it is looking good right there. So take a look at that. And there's that R cat, your big cats. And we did start with the lion right there, LGHL. And let me see where we're at. LOBO. Let's look at that one. Lobo EV Technologies right here. And let's see what that one's doing. Hold on, Lobo. Let's see. You're a little bit flat right there on Friday, trying to get moving. LOBO, Lobo. That's a cool name. 148 to 160. It actually looks really good on mine. I don't think it moved. Yeah, this one just says 148 to. It does say it got to 160, but it closed at 150. Mine has it at 160 and looks good for LOBO. So I'd say keep an eye on it. And NXTT there. Next Technology Holding. And let's see what that's doing. It crossed through, got into the 20. I think that'll be a setup for this week. NXTT. It was just starting to move up the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday. So, yeah, I think that's going to try to look good this week. QLGN, Qualigen Therapeutics. And this one just had a little bit of pullback. We'll see what it wants to do. Let me see what it did in the after hours. It is in that 20, just a little pullback. Probably just going to stay getting set up there for a little bit. And Star Equity STRR. Now, this one looks pretty good. It was down a little bit, but pulling back to set up, I think. 227 down to 216. And yeah, just pulling back, hitting that 20, but not really looking bad on that pullback. So that's one to look at. See if it wants to pull back a little bit more, STRR. And if not, it should get set up. TCRT, because it's in that channel. TCRT right there, that was curled up moving on Friday. TCRT was up 7 cents, 161 to 171, but it closed at 168. And yeah, still looks pretty good to try to run up a little bit more. So you might want to keep an eye on that in the morning. We did look at VRAX. I bet it didn't change any, but it looked really good last time we looked at it. So keep an eye on it because it does look really good again. And that is VRAX. I know it was on the list before, and Laptop Travel had it on the list. So there you go. And it does look good. XWEL, XWEL. And this one's curling up looking good from Friday. So keep an eye on XWEL 114 to 123. It's at 122 and should keep its momentum right there. And it does appear that it wants to anyway. And ZBAO, let's see what that's doing real quick. That sounds like it would be a small cap China one, but let me look and see because I have no idea. And it is a small cap China one, and it is getting cruising, guys. So keep an eye on the ZBAO. It was up 28 cents, and it's hitting that 50 up there at about 163, exactly 164. Hit 163, but it doesn't look bad. And again, that one could have a little momentum for a ZBAO. And I think these two were OTCers, so let me just take a look at them real quick right here. It was IGPK. And oh, that's that integrated cannabis solutions. That one looked good already. And like I said, it was already run up on Friday, so I'm not sure if it's running up anymore. And JFHE, oh, what did I type in? JFHE. I don't even see anything for that. Hold on. Let me see. JFHE. No, I don't see anything for that one, so I'm not sure what that is. But let's go ahead and take a look at our Jolie's jams right here. Agrify's getting set up. It's been getting set up, to be honest with you, just taking its good old time. So I think we do have some more time with Agrify right there. AGFY. Yeah, it's been staying over the MACD, but just kind of crawling back and forth, bouncing around, making a wave. Blink BLNK's been way down there. Blank charging, and that bottom should be back there at that 92. It's at 104, but touching the bottom. We'll see if it can get bouncing right here, or if it wants to cross through and try to bounce down a little bit more. So we'll see what BLNK wants to do, but it has been down there. SEZL has been pulling back. It was running up, and we know I talk about because they don't have options, and we caught the run up. Now it's just pulling back, and it'll get set back up. And Sterling's going to be a good one. I'm just watching this thing. It just got into the basement, so it's at 116. That's Sterling, STRL. And yeah, that will be a great one when it's ready. So I'll keep an eye on that. And again, it had that one nice curl up, and now it's pulling back. Maybe it'll curl up again and try to get through. We'll keep an eye on it. And Rivian pulled back right there, hitting some good support, I would say, and hitting that MACD. Let me just see what it did in the after hours. It did, yeah, it's sitting on the 20, sitting on the MACD. I'd have to look at Rivian tomorrow. I don't think it wants to pull back anymore, but it could. So I'll look at it in the morning. It could go either way right there. And Symbiotic is SYM. And this one was pulling back because I was watching this on Friday and seeing this pull back some. And I think you're going to get some more pullback there for SYM. So that is Symbiotic right there. Let me just run through our big caps and our crypto real quick, and then I'll take a look and see what you guys want to see. And here is that ZBAO. I'm telling you, that chart looks good. I'll repost it out for you, and I'll definitely take a look at everything for you guys. So let me just run through. I'll look at our big caps crypto real quick. Here, we'll do crypto since it's down anyway. Bitcoin's at 95,700. Sol's back at 162. Ethereum's at 2763. ADA Cardano's at 75. And Doge is back to 23. And Sheeb is way down there as well. Ripple's at 253. And Chainlink's back to 1717. They were trying to get set up and moving. I'm telling you, it's just a disaster with all these scams, and they just don't want to run yet. I'll tell you what, they will run, and they're almost doing that little three pop up now because they were trying to curl through and look really, really good, and now they're just bouncing down, and they're trying to do it three times. So let me just check out the charts real quick. I'll let you know what they look like, and then we'll go from there. Bitcoin 95,700, and let's see what that chart looks like. I mean, it's making a nice base where it's at, I'm not going to lie, and it's trying to, it actually curled through, and now they're just running flat. They were trying to like really curl up there and get moving, and then they just went flat. So we'll see. I don't think they want to curl back down. They just don't necessarily really want to cruise, but I can't promise you they don't necessarily that they don't want to curl back down because anything can happen with these bad boys. They just been pretty much a disaster right here. Let's look at Ethereum. That one's actually looking pretty good. It's actually green, up $7, it says. So the new day starts at 7. And let's look. Ethereum, I'm telling you, Ethereum, that 50 came down to the 200. Remember I told you guys it was coming down. And that thing's curling up. I'm telling you, Ethereum looks really good, guys. And meanwhile, Solana's pulling back. I'm telling you, it heard my rant because it was crazy. The day after I said Ethereum was like terrible, it just started looking great. And now Solana is pulling back some more. And again, it made that hard curl up, missed it, didn't go through. Practically made another one, didn't get through. And it looks like it's pulling back a little bit more. And then that'll be it for it, obviously. But it could get into like the 150 area, I guess. So Solana just pulling back. Cardano's at 74, just above or just at 75. And that one had crossed through. It's just pulling back right there. And it's way in between your 50 and 200. And yeah, these charts just got all out of whack. Ripples back to 252 right here. And let's see what it's doing. And that one was curled through trying to run. Now it's crossing and hitting the MACD, trying to pull back down. So we'll have to see what they look like in the morning, obviously. Chain link all the way down to 1717. And that one is just kind of pulling back. So yeah, just running flat. It was trying to curl through, and now it's just flat. And your 50s curling down to the 200 and not really helping it out any, that's for sure. So there you go with all them. That's them guys. And ETF 500's even way down. What's the market cap here? I'll just redo it because I don't even have to look at where it's at. Oh, come on. Come on. Why'd I do that? Hold on a second. Let me bring up that one real quick. And it looks like it's at 6 million, so it's got to be right around that 6 cents. Yep, point or not 6 cents, 0.006. So that's where that's at, and that even pulled back. But I'll tell you what, I've been actually buying some more, and like I said, the more these scam coins come out and stuff, the better that one's gonna look in about 3 months from now, because people are definitely gonna be wanting to trade these, and that supply is almost locked up, so it will make it very valuable, and it's already a million something, what 6 million or whatever market cap or whatever it is. So that is a that's why I buy it, why it's cheap and load up, because when it starts cruising in the summertime, I'm telling you that thing's gonna be insane. And the more I look at how these things work, yeah, they are crazy. I'm telling you. So you definitely got to have the ones that are definitely safe. And clearly, it's pulling back with Solana pulling back big time. We know that it happens every time. And once the Solana stops pulling back here, I think it's going to be go time, and they're just going to be rolling. And you can see the rest of them. I'm always a couple weeks early. You guys know that. And these things have been mad slow. Trying to get set up as well. And here is the ETF chart. I'll post it out for you guys and on trading view. But yeah, it's just down there, and like I said, I think that they're just going to start cruising. Crypto is going to get set up. You can see it's just taken us 3 times to get crossed up now. So it did look great, especially Bitcoin looked amazing. I thought they were going to just jump up on them 50s and pull everything up. And I guess they just want to hit the MACDs a couple times, pull back. People get really good pricing, and then they get really cruising. So that is your crypto report right there. And obviously, we'll keep you updated on them as usual, and we'll go through them in the morning. Let's take a look at our SPY and our big caps, and then I'll take a look and see what you guys want to see. That SPY was down $10, and it did pull back. And we looked at it the other day, and it was just sitting there. It was trying to move up on Friday, and then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, these things are just all over the place. It's just anything that Trump says. I mean, this is how the first one went too. They just start jumping around big time, and it does look like it's pulling back, and it crossed through. Remember, I kept saying it didn't want to cross through that MACD. It crossed through, but it is hitting the 50. But if it comes through that, it's coming back down into the 590, like the lower 590s. I don't know if they really wanted to do that, so I'd have to assume it's going to try to bounce back up tomorrow. But obviously, we will be looking at it at 7 a.m. and seeing what it's up to. Let's see, Apple was down 28 cents. just completely flat, could go either way with no problem, and a lot of them looked that way. Amazon was pulling back. Remember, we said Amazon was going to pull back? That would have been a perfect one to short. It was down $6, over six. So, it could pull back some more tomorrow and we get that bottom, and we knew that one was going down. And Google's been setting up, but it was way down. So that was another one where it's going to have to do that three little, I guess, three curl up because it was trying to get cruising. And now I'm being super patient with everything because we know that they're all trying to do this, so we're keeping an eye on them. Meta came way down. It was down $11. Looks like it's going to come down even more tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And Microsoft actually came down. It had run up early and then pulled back. It looks like it could go either way. It's just flat on that line, but obviously it could pull back some more. Microsoft MSFT, it hit that 20. It could bounce off the MACD, try to run back up. So we'll keep an eye on it. It was looking good, ran up a little bit, and then came right back down for us, Microsoft. And the video is trying to get set up, but it pulled back as well. And I think that one might get pulled back. They do have earnings coming up on Wednesday, so we won't mess with it until we see the earnings and what it's looking like by the earnings. And so yeah, in the video, we'll keep an eye on it for that. And good old Tesla was down $16, and we thought it was pulling back. I didn't think it was going to pull back that much. And another one, two almost. I would even say this one might be two. And I guess the next time is going to be when it crosses through, guys. So even Tesla's going to do it. All of them are. So just keep an eye out for that look and be extremely patient right now. AMC kind of pulling back, was trying to run up, looked really good the other day, and they do have earnings on Tuesday, so their earnings are coming up Tuesday. Pulling back just a hair. GameStop was pulling back as well. It was looking really good. It's in that channel. I mean, everything was just like completely red Friday, so they are hard to gauge. And if they bounce that SPY back up, it will obviously pull most of these back up, making them green and look much better. But yeah, it was pretty bad on Friday. So Chewy, that one was, I forget how it closed, down $1.81. I don't remember it being down that much, but it definitely took a big old dip down there. And Unity ran up, but that one got into the top, and I have a feeling it's going to come back down. But remember, they had something crazy with their earnings. That's why that one ran up the letter U. And let's take a look and see what Netflix is doing here. That one pulled back $21, and that one could pull back into like the nines right there. So that looks like it could be dipping. Like I said, they look like they want to pull back. They're really going to have to bounce pretty good if they going to want to stay up there tomorrow. AVGO has been pulling back. It was down another $8. Looks like it wants to come back a little bit more right there. So AVGO could bounce down some more. MU came down $4. And let's see, TSM, that one also came down. And like I said, they all look like they want to come down some more. SMCI came down. We thought that was topped out. It's still in the top. Maybe it wants to bounce back up, but I'm not so sure it does want to. So we'll look at it tomorrow. AMD, that one pulled back and was looking pretty good. It's still not in a bad spot. It could bounce back up, but I guess it depends on the market conditions right there. Good old QCOM. Remember, I said that was sitting there. I couldn't believe it was trying to run up. It hit that. It was sitting like right there on a resistance support line, and it made it a resistance for sure because it came down like $8. And let's take a look at Intel. That was looking great. It was only down $1. It did pop up into the top, but it does look like it's pulling back here, and it did get up to that 27 area, I believe, and pulling back now. So yeah, they do look like they're going to be pulling back some. And good old PayPal is coming down. That one was trying to get set up, and another one tried to get up through there once. That was the second time. Third time it'll do it. So now we just know. And Snow, SNOW, came down $7. That one was trying to get set up, and I think you might have a good pullback on that. So I honestly think we're going to see some pullback here. Dell is coming down. It was kind of topped out. I think it comes back down to that 50 around, in the 113 area and tries to get set back up if it's going to pull back much. And good old PLTR was bouncing down. Remember that crossed down through the MACD and it's sitting on the 20. We'll have to see if it wants to really pull back here. And good old Sophie, let's see what SOFI was doing. That pullback, and that one looks like it wants to pull back even further. So everything took a nice pullback. We know Mara and Riot, they took a nice pullback. Mara was down $1.29, and good old Riot was down $1.14 and taking a big old plunge. And so was CLSK, that was down, and MicroStrategy was also down $24. And that one's got to get set back up, but that one looks like it's going to be coming down. So all of them, including Coin, was down $21, and that was trying to get set up, and that's pulling back down to the 220 area now. DJT was trying to get set up, and he's even pulling back. So I don't know what Trump's doing, but he's making his pullback. Fun's pulling back. That was supposed to get fun. MTN, that's pulling back. And maybe that's the bottom right there. We'll watch for that one because it will be a good one. McDonald's is trying to curl back up. Go figure. And Boeing was down 373, and I think this one has to pull back to get set back up big time. Space was pulling back some, and that one's just not been a great one. But IBM, that was pulling back, and it was trying to run up. So watch for this pullback, and it'll be a great one because it is getting really set up. And like I said, everything had a nice little pullback right there. Disney had a pullback, and that was coming down, $1.89 it came down. And good old Oxy, that was all set up and trying to get moving, and that pulled back. So everything, including ExxonMobil, which also looked really good and still looks like it wants to be set up. But Nike pulled back, and that one was trying to get set up. So DXYZ was also down 256, down to 48.27, and that one pulled back. And let me see what you guys want to see. We'll go through the scanner, see what was coming up. And there you go. That's a lot of pullback right there. Apple was kind of the flattest out of them all and still not looking great. Asian stocks fluctuate. The dollar dips after U.S. data. German stocks futures. Euro jumps on Mertz win. I don't even know what that is. I guess it was an election over there. NVIDIA earnings, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge coming this week. And stock futures rise on Sunday evening after a losing week on Wall Street. And stock investors stopped freaking out over interest rates. Now this threat is reemerging, which is probably, I have no idea, but who knows? And that was your couple stories right there. And let me take a look and just see what's on the scanner, and then we'll go through the messages. MLGO, we already know to look for that. UPC, guys, what's this one? That one looks pretty good. Universe Pharmaceuticals. And that was moving up. That's a China small cap, was looking pretty decent. We'll have to write that down to look at in the morning. UPC, keep an eye on that one. And Buru, we were looking at ADTX and all these. Holo, we know. LICN. NU, big dip there. See if that one wants to maybe take a bounce. And that NKGN, I think we looked at it, but if not, let's open it up because it looks like it's trying to curl back up there. So keep an eye on NKGN. It's called NKGen Biotech, and that one looks like it's trying to do something. Good old Lucid pulling back, and so is RGTI. FXI, I think, is kind of topping out right there. That's that China big cap one. So that's what I was looking at it, and you kind of know that your small caps are going to get cruising right there, and your SPY looks like it's coming down. I'll look at the VIX. I look at the here, ready? Let's see. I think it comes up as, yeah, the VIXY on here, but that looks really good. So it does cross through and does look pretty good. So we got to keep our eye because that does look decent. That plug crossed through, but it's not looking great for tomorrow. That Applied Sciences, Applied Digital Corporation, APLD, not bad. And that DGLY we're looking at, and Ford's been way down. That BITF we looked at. I don't know if we looked at BITX, but Bitfarms is down too. And that Grab, that one's kind of bouncing around right there. And let's see that UOKA. I'm telling you, keep an eye on that. And the Pfizer. And yeah, there you go with them bad boys. Let me see if there's anything else going on over here, and then we'll take a look at the messages and see what you guys want to see. Um, I don't see anything different. ASBP, I think we talked about that. Look for a little bounce on that one. RTC, UPC, we talked about. RETO, we looked at. Buru, and everything else, I believe we probably looked at. It looks like anything that's set up, I know that we already looked at it. So, yeah, I can't see it. This one could be a little runner in the morning. Cure, KURE, and this is a China ETF. I don't know what it does, but it just popped up into the top and looks like it might want to run some more tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. KURE. And let's see what's going on, what you guys want to see right here. I know Luis Rodriguez posted a couple good ones. Solana and Ripple and crypto should see gains in the near future with the ETFs coming out. Yeah, I'm telling you, something's setting up, guys. It's taking its good old time, but it will be getting set up and running. No doubt in my mind. Cephas wants to see Reborn. Let's look at that. Isn't that coffee one? REBN. Reborn Coffee. There you go. I know it ran up last week on Thursday. It got up into the top. And let's see, REBN. I think it might be pulling back. I'm not saying it's going to go crashing down, but it does look like it could come down to that 20 and it's going to come down to that MACD. I don't think you're going to get a pop up tomorrow on REBN right there. So I'll look at it for you and we'll take a look at that. Let's see what else is going on. Let me just cruise through. I'll post out a bunch of them charts. NIVF. We did look at it, ran up the other day for us really well. I mean, we were dead on the money with NIVF, and I'm not so sure. It could bounce back off the bottom. We'll have to look at it tomorrow. We did go through it tonight, but again, we caught that perfect bounce the other day. And how about a couple of these NIO? That one is that China auto manufacturer. That's probably a good one because it does look pretty good. That 20's curling up. And Neo does look really good, guys. So keep an eye on that one for sure. NIO looking good. TMDX. Let's see what that is. TMDX right here. Transmedic Group. They do have earnings coming up on the 27th, which is Thursday. Just bouncing down a little. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. TMDX. Looks like it's going to come down to that 20 in the MACD and probably bounce back up. Remind me to look at that tomorrow. And we'll look at it. That grab was pulling back right there. And another one just coming down. But that 20 and 50 are meeting up. Let me see. Yeah, that one's an interesting one. That one could go either way. It looks like it wants to curl off, but I can't promise you. So another one I'll definitely take a look at. BIDU is a China small cap. Oh no, it's not a small cap. BIDU is not. It's at 91. It is a China one. I know we looked at it not long ago. It was setting up and then it ran up there. And let's see what it's doing right now. If it's trying to curl back up, BIDU. Eh. It looks like it's trying to, but I can't promise you. And again, this is a bigger cap one, and they don't look as good. I think that one could possibly pull back. I'd have to look at that tomorrow. NOC is at Northrop Grumman, and this one I looks like it bottomed out there Thursday. This is nice. 426 might be its bottom. It's at 449. And I mean, this thing could run up into the 470s and up to like the 490s. So keep an eye on this. NOC, I like that one right there. And that could be a great one for options, Luis Rodriguez. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And let's look at Apple. Had strength on Friday and was the only Mag 7. Yeah, it was the only one that kind of closed flat. You're not kidding. The rest of them got crushed. Down 28 cents and a little more, but it is, like I said, it's a totally flat look too. So it could run either way. I have no idea what the market wants to do tomorrow. You can't even tell. Let's look at that BlackBerry because that thing's been setting up here. BBL, right, BBL, BB. I don't know where I got the L from, but it was running up in the top, and that's coming down. Its 20s at 505, and it could come crushing through that. So it does look like we're about to see some dippage here. So there you go for BlackBerry right there. And let's see what else is going on. Let's see that OCEA. We definitely looked at it at the top of the list right there. That didn't mean that it was going to be moving. It was just happened to be there, but it is set up. It had a little healthy pullback, and I still like it. So I would say keep an eye on that OCEA. I don't think it looks terrible right there. And then we already talked about that. CYCU is providing their update, their corporate update on March 18th. Let me keep going down. IZM, let's see what that is. Did we look at that? Yeah, that's that yeah, that one. I'm telling you, you're on the money with that one, Corey. Laptop Travel likes that one as well. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. And let's see, Trades and Gains have been putting up a bunch of the dark pool calls and all that good stuff. So he did AAP, which is Advanced Auto Parts, and again that one's probably is starting to look really good right there. So I'll repost out a couple of his. I'll repost out that you guys can see that bad boy. And AAP is up overnight. Elf we were talking about, and let's see. Let's talk about shorting. I know I was looking at it already. You're not kidding. So, yeah, you can easily put puts on a bunch of things. It looks like right here, and we'll definitely have to take a look at that for sure. Let's see real quick. Weemy's up in the after or in overnight right there. It looks like STEC is that Sandtech looks like it's up. EPOW is Sunrise. That looks like it's up a little bit. KNDI. So take a look at these ones. These are all up. China plays. And AACG is up a little bit right there. INTJ Intelligent Group, that's up. HUIZ, we were looking at that bad boy, and TANH. So HUIZ, we were definitely looking at that and saying it was looking good. And it did run pretty good the other day. So what'd it go? Like 370. Let me see. I remember I was saying this looked good. 339, 399 to 419 it went up to. And then it came down. It closed at 378. So, but it definitely ran up there and it had been moving and it looked good. It doesn't look too bad. We'll see what it does tomorrow. And that is that HUIZ right there. So, a couple good ones right there. And let's see what else. Did I miss anything else? The BlackBerry was pulling back. CNSP. Let's see what that's up to real quick. CNSP, let's see. That one just had a split on Friday, huh? Oh, that's a beauty, down 52 cents. Keep an eye on that CNSP. Let me jot that down right there. Reverse split. All right. Keep an eye on that for sure. And let me see. QNCCF. Let me look and see if we can pull that up. That is Quantum Emotion Corp. And that did run up there on Thursday. It looks like it's going to try to pull back. It's right in that channel. And again, I only get the one look at it, but if I had to guess, it does look like it's trying to pull back a little bit. Timothy Gibson. I can look at it tomorrow if you want me to look at it. Just remind me, that's all. And CVAC, I think I started the show with that one, right? Let me look. And then I'd know it. Yeah, CureVac. So yeah, that one looked like it was just kind of basing out down there, and we definitely looked at that, and I think I got everything right there. SRM, I knew there was another one. SRM, let's see, SRM Entertainment, that was at the top. That looks like it's kind of pulling back at the moment. So yeah, we'll see. I'll look at it tomorrow. What it do? 80 to 84. It closed at 81. It did jump up there the other day on the 18th to 109. Had some pullback. We'll see if it wants to get moving again. WB. I'll take a look at it. And TON, we looked at TANH. That looks good. And let's see, stock futures rise on Sunday evening. Boom, right there. And we did that list right there, I believe. Yeah, yep. Grab PLTR. We already hit Microsoft, and yep, we got them bad boys. Thank you. And I got all them guys as well. So we got all them. That's good. And like I said, I can post the ADTX. I know I hit that. Let's look at it real quick. I forget what I said about it. I think I said it was just some pullback. And yeah, it ran up and it's right there. It could just be some pullback to see if it wants to get set back up. It is sitting like right there on that 20 area at about 10 cents. It's at 9, and we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow when it gets moving. Um, just spent a lot of money on Grab and Service, not the stock. And it looks good in Asia, growing and gaining market share and strength, expanding services beyond car rides on demand. So all kinds of good stuff, food delivery, package delivery, shopping. So there you go, GRAB. Laptop travel likes that one. Dave, you want to see Dave? Don't follow Dwight. Let me see what Dave's doing. That one popped up the other day, and that's not Dave and Buster's because that's Play. And remember, we looked at it the other day. It ran up and came down. It ran up to that 125, and Dave looks like he could be pulling back at the moment, but it did pop up that very next day when we were talking about it. And let's look at Play, PLAY, and that's Dave and Buster's right there. And that's going to be set. That one's going to be good, guys. So let's keep an eye on PLAY, though. The other Dave, Dave and Buster's, another one tried to crawl through, came back down. We'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do. Yeah, I think we looked at that STEC, Sandtech. Yeah, we were looking at that. That's crawling up there. Get through, and it should be good right there. Baba Yaga. And we had looked at that ADTX and that one, Dave, and I got all them bad boys right there. Let me see what the Stock Twits is telling us right now because they usually have some good ones. It was yeah, Farcoin was on there trending and it was down a little bit. It was down like a little bit more. Now it's down 6%. It was down a little bit more. INJ is a coin. Boils up again, guys, and looks like it's trying to go up into the top right there. So Boyle could be running up, and coal does look like it's going to be a little chillier and come running into the bottom. Fort is a bunch of coins right here. UNG, that one looks a little better. That United States. Oh wait, no, I was thinking the UNH. Never mind. UNG is the United States Natural Gas Fund, and we looked at this before. It's way up at the top. It might run up into the top right there. And the rest are coins right there. Let's look at UNH because that was way down. It came down like $36 the other day, and that could be bottoming out. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And there you go. I would say we got all them bad boys. Let me see. I don't think I missed anything. And let me see. I think we got everything there for a good Sunday night review for this week. That's for sure. We definitely know what's going on, what's looking good. And tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we'll do our pre market and know exactly what's going on. We have to see how it's going to open up first, obviously, after the weekend, after crypto came down a little bit more, and we'll see how our SPY is looking. They could be pulling back some more, and you might want to put it down tomorrow. So we'll look at it in the morning. We'll take a look, see what's going to be popping, our small caps and so forth, and see exactly what we want to get into, our best opportunities like we did last week. I'm telling you, we nailed the which ones were they? It was ELF and LMT. We nailed them perfectly. And that AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, will get set up. There's a few other ones that are looking good. Obviously, the vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer, BNTX. So we're keeping an eye on them tomorrow. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on everything. I'll keep you guys updated. Obviously, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for pre-market. Our Jolie's jumpers and yeah, our Joey's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns, our crypto and everything else that we do in the morning, our SPY and our big caps and all that good stuff. So there you go, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on a Sunday night. We just rolled through a whole bunch of them, did a couple sectors, and I'll even go through. We'll find a few more of the small cap China ones because they're obviously getting rolling, like that STEC and a bunch of other ones that we pointed out. So we'll go through them in the morning and make sure they're all looking good and cruising there. So there you go, everyone. Thanks a lot, everybody. Laptop travel, especially. I'll post out some of them charts. He posted a bunch of them. I'll repost them. Winter mute. I believe, yeah, Winter Mute. I always see you on there. Doge Mom and Nine and Jay Kratz and Luis Rodriguez. And don't follow Dwight. Serial Winner, how are you? And who's that? Pay somebody. Psychedelic somebody. And Bone, what is that? Bone Daddy somebody. Sinai, DJ, Lynn, Admir, Sean, Alicia, and somebody. Soda. Hold on. Hiram, I would say. That's how I would say it. Hiram. I hope I didn't butcher your name, but appreciate everybody hanging out as always. And obviously, if you just want to see anything in the morning, just shoot it over. We'll be on at 7 a.m. I'll post out the link in the morning and we'll cruise through our pre-market and see exactly what's going on to start the week and know what crypto and everybody else is up to. So there you go, everybody. Have a great night and I'll catch everybody in the morning. So have a good night, and I'll see you at 7 a.m.